Hey guys, Zero Gaming back here, and in today's video, hope you guys enjoyed the new intro, new everything. In today's video, we're going to just be discussing how 343 Industries really ruined Halo, or at least made it in worse, and people, started hating on it, and they're, that's not right, I'm not used to this, or even better, making characters look like cartoon figures even though they're not. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty much good one today, guys. So first thing we'll start off with is the enemies. So as I'm already shooting them, they made the enemies more cartoonish. They gave them the cute little face masks. They gave them their own language instead in Halo 4, which was kind of weird. And then in Halo 5, well, we're not even going to talk about the singing grunt. I really don't want to talk about that, but you guys can. If you have Halo 5, you probably know what I'm talking about. So they definitely made the enemies more fiercer. Now, not less to say, other enemies are fiercer than the other ones, but grunts were always the scared figure, but I feel like they got more scared and they got more there's the purple grunt, there's the pink grunt, the green grunt, these different colors of grunts, which was a little interesting, but I think they should have just kept to, red and orange, two basic colors, but instead they made a whole line of different enemy colors, which I thought was pretty interesting, it's their game now, I guess, so that's how they really screwed up on the grunts. Now the jackals. Okay, so if you guys don't know what Forge is, if you guys never played it, I guess, if you guys try to summon dead bodies on their Forge in Halo 5, you would know that the enemies are colored blue and yellow. Why? I mean, they look they look like beach colors, so when you have beach grunts, jackals, and other, so they really messed up on the coloring is what I'm trying to say here. And then last but not least, the jackals, they kind of stay the same. They're just they're kind of like the pterodactyl, actually. They're just like the Earth, pterodactyl, which is kind of funny, And then last but not least, we have, yeah, you guessed it, we have the elites. Now, the elites are different. Now, they had many different types. They had, the space elites. They had the mask covering over them. They didn't really have red, yellow, orange. They kind of just had the same type of elites, and that was about it. Anyway, guys, here is the next thing. Next thing I want to talk about is Marines. Okay, this is going to be a big topic of ours today. Now, this is what old Marines would look like. They were the most strongest, more they could take a punch. They could take a punch, they could give a punch, and they were pretty much normal Marines we would see today. They'd actually be tough. They wouldn't be oh, we're so scared, let's tell jokes. They do that, but they don't do that out in combat. Hey, there's bullets flying by my head. It's just these guys don't joke around. They do their their flips. They go in formation. They hide behind rocks and wait for the rest of their platoon to go with them. See like that. They all go around the rock, and then they all come around from one side and surround their enemy. They're actually good Greek army tactics, which is actually kind of funny, and they just did really, really good. And then adding on to that, they actually looked like futuristic Marines. I mean, they actually had the blue socket, kind of TV over their eye, which I thought was that's a futuristic Marine should look like. They had real Marine camo, backpacks, all that, what a real Marine should have. Not like what I'm about to show you is pretty the opposite of that. These guys, unlike most people, they can't take a punch, okay? Yeah, okay, 343. So I'll walk up to this guy. This guy's different. These guys, this is a cross between, you don't see many of these guys. They're Air Force plus, they have the Air Force helmet, but then Marine, guess from the neck to their feet. They just have like different colors. Now see, they can't even take a punch. The other Marines, if you punch them, they could take quite a few punches, especially the Halo 2 Marines. Like, you could punch them so many times. And now, I did actually have a clip for the last one, but something went wrong with it, and it got, like, deleted. I'm already making the video, and if I exit now, blah, 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 things will be stopped. But you could actually, in easy mode on Halo 2 and Halo 1, you could punch them, and they'd be fine. But if you punched one of these guys, they're going to fall down in a second. Now, the Spartans, on the other hand, they actually did a good, kind of a good job with these guys. They're all basic. They made the cheap Marines. They didn't give each one, like, different colors. They just made every single Marine gray, white, and orange, and with a blue visor. And now this was kind of interesting because you'd think, like, normal Spartans, they would each get to have, like kind of like noble team or blue team. Even though blue team, they're kind of like, they have like the most beige ordinary colors. They do have different helmets and different skin suits, different ways to, I guess, armor that they could customize themselves. Now see, look how weak these guys are. Like, not to jump back to that, but I mean, I'm just gonna go around and I'm actually gonna get them angry. I'm gonna go around and start killing them to get them angry at me, and then I'm gonna fight them, and we're gonna see what kind of battle tactics they have. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm gonna talk more about the Spartans. They gave them not very good. They're all basic, and these guys are, remember, Spartan 4s. They are, anybody can be one. So let's just say that anybody can be one. They're cheap. They're not as cheap as the Spartan 3s, but they're also, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them in population. And then remember here, there's like, these guys kind of look like ODSTs, but they're not. And then here, so remember there's no well, there's no sign of them. They are on the affinity, but they're not there. And then these guys, remember, they just made these guys look cartoonish. Like, if you guys want to back it up, I even showed, like, got up, like, these guys, they don't look like, who does, like, no one dresses up like that. Like, if you go onto any military base, you shouldn't. Don't do that. Don't be an idiot. But if you do that, that's fine with you. But you're not gonna see them dressed like this. Even like futuristic Marines, these guys look like some costume party from the 50s. Like, this is not how a Marine should look. These guys don't look real. Like, they don't look. Like, if these guys came to my house, like, if you're arrested, I'm just gonna start laughing at them. I'll be like, this is the best you got. So now let's transitioning forward. See those Marines up there? See, they're kind of in, so the Spartans are smarter AIs. So the AIs kind of goes Spartans, and then at the bottom is just the normal soldiers. Now the Spartans, they actually go together. Like, they'll actually, like you just saw on the balcony, they'll travel together, and then the normal Marines will kind of just be cannon fodder. They'll kind of just stand in front of everybody, and, like, say I can just mow them down like this. Now the other guys, they're going to be smart. The Spartans, they're going to have their rail guns up there. They're going to be shooting down. They're going to have a good vantage point because they're up on that balcony. They're going to be, rocking it, and the dumb AIs down here will be dumb. And that's what a lot of people didn't like, is that's what 343 messed up on. They really made the AIs dumber than they should have been. And they can't even, no, their melees are pretty good, but, I mean, the Spartans are the only smart ones, let's just say that. And then now we have the new, kind of like the new graphics. So I will give 343 this. So if you came here to me to hate on 343, they did do one thing and one thing only right. Marketing. They marketed Halo so much that they picked up so many new Halo people. Now this is actually bad if you like the old version of it. Like, you can actually kill something, like, oh, I don't know, there'd be like real blood on the ground, or at least something lifelike. Now all the enemies look like something out of a cartoon show, and not to mention that everything is just G-rated, so that's how they were able to pull in younger followers. So some squealer is playing this. Yeah, you don't look at me, no. Anyway, yeah, it's not me. Anyway, yeah, they kind of just like let it go so they could get more money. So that's really their financial plan. They're not looking out for you, you know, the fan. Even if you are a little kid watching this, I mean, it's great that it was able, but I mean, you're gonna, you know, if you play Halo, then you're probably going to like if you're young and you play Halo, then you're gonna branch out into Call of Duty and those violent games like GTA. Eventually, you're going to do that probably. And you know, they did 343. They did do, they just made the graphics better. But they really didn't improve on that. It was just like, you know, it's technology, so it's gonna get better whether you want it or not. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it and kind of like speaking my opinion along with everybody else's opinion, kind of just like sharing it out there. And everybody makes pretty good arguments. At least I went with facts. I got most of my facts from General Kid and their YouTube channel, because even in his videos, like which Marines are the best in each Halo games, go watch that video. It's like versus. They made their, you know,